win over the Copenhagen Wolves. Frankly, gentlemen, not too much to talk about, just sheer aggressiveness, unanswered aggressiveness on the side from the crew.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff from the Super Hot crew. Impaler proving why Elise was banned away from him in the SK game, 8-0-9 in that. Got the triple kill as well, we just saw it at the end there. Fantastic performance overall. Copenhagen Wolves, you've got to wonder what was going through their mind. We heard Deficio talking about it when they went into that Dragon Pit and suddenly gave the ace to the Super Hot crew. But overall, dominant victory by Super Hot crew, looking really good in this Super Week.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just to add and compound the discussion regarding the Copenhagen Wolves, if you go back last week when they ran that Ashe composition alongside Kale, if memory serves, they were picking team fights very early on in the game. They had a composition that needed time, that needed to scale, and they were just forcing objectives. It feels like the Wolves are trying to force a play style with disregard to the composition they're running, and it's not really working for them.
No, let's actually take a step back and look more in depth at the teams that we've seen here today. Talking to Mr. Raleigh, he said, where do I see us going in the standings? It's going to be so difficult. Fnatic is moving up. Alliance is very good. Where do you see the Super Hot crew going?
Well, I mean, overall, they're tied at 4th place right now alongside Millennium. But if you were to contrast the two teams, Millennium, we've talked about, they're a one-trick pony right now. Everybody kind of knows what they're going to do. They actually proved a little bit a new step in their tactics, I guess, today. They did okay, but generally they'll run the pick comp. If that doesn't work, they're in trouble. Super Hot crew, they've got a lot of different ways to win the games right now. We've seen Selfie stepping up, going big. Mr. Rales, always reliable in that bottom lane. Now Kasing alongside him. Seems like a very happy partnership as well. Impaler, we just saw unkillable in that game. And well, Mima, honestly, is actually starting to expand his champion pool in that top lane.
Mima's always been the silent hero of the top lane. He has always delivered, and he's definitely one of the most underrated players. And I really just want to mirror that sentiment. If you contrast Millennium and Super Hot crew, and you just think about the way they perform and the way they compete with other teams, you really feel like Super Hot crew is one of the only teams that has the ability to challenge the likes of SK and Alliance and Fnatic. Millennium, if they're not on picks, if they're on Leona and Assassins, you're like, well, they're not that great. So it was good seeing them performing okay with the Ziggs mid laner, but they didn't play Siege. They just didn't play the comp the way it was meant to be played.
The one thing I would say about them is they are one of the teams that have been able to adapt very quickly. You know, they've got a coach, they've got an analyst, they are listening to outside sources, they're a fresh young team, and they're open to new ideas.
Yeah, and they did manage to beat SK Gaming just earlier in the day here as well, so definitely got what it takes to beat those top teams. Let's turn our attention to the Copenhagen Wolves, and currently 3-13. Not good news.
No, it's not. And the Copenhagen Wolves are struggling. I mean, the last time they won a game was week 6. Okay, that's not bad, last week. And before that was week 2. They went in a 7-game losing streak, one shy of Fnatic's loss from the spring split. And for the Copenhagen Wolves, if a few more losses are stacked up, they are starting to get closer to like guaranteed not going to make top 2. A few more after that, guaranteed not going to be top 6. It just seems like nothing is working for the team, and something serious has to change.
Yeah, they are plumb bottom right now, and honestly, it doesn't look like they're going to get out of that position. Super Week's not going too well for them either. They've got 2 games tomorrow, I believe, so to see whether they can
Alliance
turn something
and SK.
around. Yeah, exactly. The top 2 teams they're going to play tomorrow. It's a potential 0-4 for the Copenhagen Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see where that goes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And now we're going to send it back